Talk to me about becoming a Bitcoiner. Peter Schiff is now a Bitcoiner. Peter Schiff has an inscription where he is going to auction it off. You are a user of the Bitcoin blockchain. You have become a promoter of the Bitcoin blockchain. Why is Peter Schiff now a Bitcoiner?
Yeah, well, so I'm not a Bitcoiner, and now I'm under the delusion that Bitcoin is some digital version of gold. We're going to use the ordinals, which are the Bitcoin's version of an Ethereum NFT.
How you want to expand in China? Obviously, you're fully licensed up now. You were very productive during the pandemic. You got full JVs and full ventures in securities and in mutual funds and futures. You're pretty much well established on the mainland, which was your goal. But the things have changed. China's not necessarily the be-all, end-all anymore. We've had simultaneous crackdowns domestically on the platform economy, on property, on online gaming, on online education, not to mention COVID zero. You have a crackdown on consultancies. There's lots of pressure. I mean, are you recalculating your growth projection and the capability of that growth in China?
You went through a long list there, which I wouldn't agree with all of it. But I think when we do business in a country, and we do visit 100 countries around the world, we are there for the citizens of the country. And we're there, hopefully, through good times and bad times. We tend not to leave other than there's war or civil war. And so we're not predicting any of that here. Obviously, it's become a far more complex situation. For some for good reason, some not for good reason. And, there's risk. There's always going to be risk. And I think you'll see companies react to different things for different reasons. Some is their own resiliency. Some is obviously national security, will trump all other things. So when, our government tells us to do A, B, and C, we're going to do A, B, and C and support it. And I think there's a risk in China itself that, I've met with several people here. If you have more uncertainty, some of it caused by the Chinese government, well, of course, it's going to not just change foreign direct investment, which has gone up a little surprisingly, and I don't think they should assume that's going to continue, but it's going to change the people here, their own confidence, their own ability to invest and do things. And so, like I said, if people have deep conversations, respect each other, engage properly, I think the American government said all the right things recently, which is, because you heard it from Treasury Secretary Yellen, you heard it from President Biden, you heard it from National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, you heard it from Secretary of State Tony Blinken, that this is not decoupling, this is de-risking. The world's changed a little bit. Obviously, they are concerned about the war in Ukraine. They should be. I think that's probably one of the most serious things affecting the future of the globe, and I mean the future of the globe for the next 50 years. And I think they're doing the right things. I'm completely supportive of that. So, China's obviously going to do what they think is good for itself, and business might be a positive attribute. But national security will trump all other issues.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we have Peter Schiff getting in on the NFTs. And he's getting in on the Bitcoin ordinals, guys. And he's riding the wave. And we know Peter Schiff doesn't give us the whole truth. We know none of these fund managers do. You don't hear Peter Schiff talking about the fourth industrial revolution for a reason. If you know the history of Peter Schiff, you know why. And we know he knows all about the fourth industrial revolution because we know he's heavily invested in the emerging markets. And speaking of the emerging markets, we have JP Morgan on investing in China. And guys, we know the drums are beating in Russia and Ukraine. All the American companies pulled out, but nobody pulled out of China. Why is that, guys? Because they know all about the fourth industrial revolution. In the media, we get the Hegelian dialectic. They're talking about war, all these tensions. But we know JP Morgan, American Express, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Nike, Apple, Exxon, just to name a few of our big banks and big corporations that are heavily invested in mainland China, because we know the big banks and big corporations fund both sides. And we know the banks are the biggest what? I'll let you finish that. Remember, China Xi told Putin, we're going to make changes not seen in over 100 years. And guys, we know this is all about the fourth industrial revolution, where we see America to Babylon 2.0 fall and the rise of the emerging markets, the BRICS nations, led by China, the dragon, with that digital yuan backed by that digital SDR. And remember, the crypto teacher told you about it and wrote about it a long time ago, because he knew when it came to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
News of the incident coming the same day U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin in Singapore issued this warning to Beijing.
To be clear, we do not seek conflict or confrontation, but we will not flinch in the face of bullying or coercion.
8 days ago, a Chinese fighter jet in the same region flew so close to a U.S. military plane, it created turbulence. China sees the U.S. military presence in the South China Sea and Taiwan Strait as a violation of its sovereignty.
Yeah, I don't want to keep on harping on the negative side of it, but is there any scenario, the worst case scenario, that would make your investment, and look, it's a sizable investment in China, make it untenable for you?
You know, Steve, you're going to repeat yourself over and over. We're here. We're going to support the Chinese people, the Chinese governments. We do business with 1,000 companies here. Half are multinationals coming in, half are local companies. We always have managed our risk that we can handle almost whatever happens around the world. And I am an American patriot. I will do what my government tells me. I'm going to salute like anybody else. But I can tell them what I think. And you can imagine that I've been very clear when I sit down with them what I think and what we think matters. And like I said, a lot of the business community, I think, could be very helpful in that. This is not a simple matter. And sometimes we oversimplify things in a way which actually damage, the ultimate outcomes.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.